This is the Army's Mountain Warfare School. Students in the 14-day training endure frigid temperatures and dangerous terrain. Those who complete the course become military mountaineers.
I will say hats off to anyone who attempts this course and completes it, even if you just attempt it. I know how tough it can be in the British Army, and this, from already what I've seen 21 seconds in, it looks extremely arduous.
Soldiers in mountainous countries like Russia and China are familiar with this type of terrain, and the US could be at a disadvantage if it isn't ready to fight in it.
If you think about the specific domains that a soldier could be operating in, the Army recognizes a few: jungle, desert, Arctic, mountain. And if you put together a Venn diagram of all those things, the one commonality is actually mountains. That's why we think this training here is just so vitally important.
Totally agree. Most environments that you're going to go into, there's going to be big hills, massive hills, and mountains, and huge obstacles that could get in your way. So having these sorts of guys, being able to train the rest of the guys, and have the Army up to a good standard to be able to operate in such environments and areas is vitally important. But I'm Craig, a former British soldier, and today we're looking at inside the Army's grueling mountain warfare school. Massive shout out to all of you subscribed, shared and liked, and a big shout out to all of our channel members. And if you want to support the channel, head over to combatreadyhq.co.uk. The link is in the description to check out our coffee and our merch. But let's get into it.
Time to say I'm afraid of heights.
You're going down, look down.
He said, look down?
The gods of the valleys are not the gods of the hills. It's a quote you'll see pasted all over the schoolhouse. It's a differentiator that tells soldiers in the mountains that they're different and that they need to be harder and they need to go further, faster, and they need different skills.
Gods of the hills, I like that. Minus 13 degrees, okay, freezing. You don't get many temperatures like that in the UK unless you go up north to Scotland.
The Army Mountain Warfare School is located at the Camp Ethan Allen training site in Jericho, Vermont, about 45 miles from the Canadian border. The government invested $30 million into a new schoolhouse that opened in 2023. It features a private ski hill and lift, supply and rope rooms, and a 3-story climbing wall.
Have to say, when it comes to America, you do things so much bigger and better than the UK. Its own skiing slope, £30 million just on the school alone. That building looks insane. The ski slope, and then being able to obviously provide your own equipment is vitally important. Within the UK, we have our mountain leaders and we can do that sort of training, but I believe a lot of the time it's sort of outsourced. We have to go to other countries to sort of finalise and complete it. But we have a lot of cliff faces and mountains where you can do a lot of the abseiling and rock climbing.
Let's get her done.
We train about 80 to 85% of the Army's military mountaineering requirements. Our primary course is the basic military mountaineer course. It's a 2-week course founded on the basic principles of...
That's not as long as I thought it was going to be, 2 weeks.
...military mountaineering.
During the course, the students are tested on knots,
It's not my best knot.
land navigation, and rappelling on steep cliff faces.
Land navigation, vitally important. One of the skills that you should really try and home in on. It's one of the most vital skills while serving as a soldier.
Between 600 and 700 students begin the basic course each year, but only about 500 make it to graduation.
It's insane numbers compared to what you'd get in the UK. That's an infantry battalion numbers. You just would not get that in the UK. We'd mostly do about 10 to 20, I reckon.
We have 5 non-locking carabiners. They got 2 on each thumb, 1 in the middle. 3 locking carabiners.
Before training begins, students check out up to 55 pieces of specialized mountain gear.
I can like curl my toes. I don't know if that's good. Like how tight are you using?
The inner boot, you don't want it to be squishing your toes. You want to have like a little bit of room, maybe just like a quarter of an inch.
Not everyone who attends the school is in the Army, like Captain Jake Murray.
So I'm in the Air Force. I just want to see kind of what like the Army school is like, kind of how they like walk, talk, and whatever.
The 51 students split into 3 squads. We followed 2nd Squad, led by Staff Sergeant Nick Honeycutt, a student tapped to be squad leader.
I'm based out of Fort Bliss, Texas. No snow out there. And then to come here where it's 10 degrees, it's real different.
That's completely different going from Texas to that. But being an infantry sort of guy, a soldier, he's going to be very adaptable, and he would have gone through different things during basic training, etc. So I'm sure he adapted to it very well.
It ain't this cold.
So nothing too major there than what we saw. Sort of standard introductory briefs, kit issue on arrival, very similar to what you would do in the UK.
Among the students in 2nd Squad are the only 2 women in the course. 38-year-old Sergeant Jessica Norton didn't join the Army until she was 34.
I always
Fair
wanted
enough.
to join the military, but I graduated after 9/11 and my brother was already in the Navy and my mom asked me to wait. And then kind of just life happened.
Based at Walter Reed Medical Center, Lieutenant Megan Eiler is looking to get some hands-on experience in hazardous terrain.
So now I have one with her mum asking to join after. She would have missed out on all the major sort of fighting operations, so Afghan and Iraq. And now she's joined those, she's doing some great things.
Medical person where everyone's like afraid I'm gonna fall down the cliff. This is the kind of stuff that like you go out with your units and you're like, I know the injuries theoretically that you're gonna get, but you haven't lived it before, so it's hard to help prevent them until you do stuff like this.
This guy, he's always on me. He's always right here in my face.
Just a week ago, I didn't know any of them. I had a bunch of coworkers who love tying knots, so they were just like, hey, yeah, we'll show you.
No, the inside is where it's going to come out. That's how you know you did it right.
Okay.
The knot test is about 1 week in on the course. We see that there's generally a 15% attrition rate, and of the 15%, the vast majority are from the knot test.
It's mad, isn't it? 15% attrition rate just from the knot test, but some people just really struggle with tying knots. And being in the mountains is vitally important. You understand how to tie knots, and make sure that you are, you know, correctly secure when sort of climbing or abseiling down.
What is it now?
That's a great question. What is a knot?
Yeah. Okay.
I like that, right? Tied over itself.
Yeah, so there's loosen bites to create a loop or to create the rope into like a working mechanism.
21-year-old Alex Sierra is a cadet in his senior year at nearby Norwich University in Vermont.
Yeah,
That's mad. So you can get cadets on these courses as well. I wonder how the US military universities actually work.
Desk hours upon hours just practicing to a point where like every night I go to bed and I like imagine in my head like how to do it properly.
He joined the school when a walk-on spot opened up 2 weeks before the course began.
Fair play to him.
We're saying, hey, we're interested. Is there any space for us to train?
Like, how does that work?
21 years old, in officer cadet school, 2 weeks notice and volunteered for a course like this. I know a lot of guys in the British Army would try and stay away from a course like this. So, fair play.
You're gonna miss classwork.
I just told my professor, hey, I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. So like, okay. I'm like, I'll try to do schoolwork if I have any service up here. So I'm gonna try later tonight, try to do an assignment before going to bed.
He's still got to do an assignment. So what they got there on, looks like they got gaiters. Protects obviously the bottom of their trousers getting wet and in water, then basically going into their boots. So that's what they're there for. Great basic kit, piece of kit. Spend a bit of money on them if you're looking at going out on the hills.
I'm gonna be gassed. That's my prediction. And if I make it past that stick, as soon as we take a couple steps up that hill, I think I'm done.
Everybody should be layered appropriately, meaning a little comfortably cool. I would say miserably cool, but it's not that cold out.
Right, so what he means layered correctly then is I used to be one of my pet hates when I was in the British Army. When you're about to go on a patrol or some sort of movement, as they're calling it here, you see people, because it's really cold, fleeces on, smocks on, hats on, ready to go, and you're like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm cold. Yeah, but when you start walking, especially carrying equipment, you're going to warm up. So take the layers off, be cold for a little bit at first, and then when you set off, you're going to warm up. Because what will happen is, one, you'll get too hot and you overheat, and two, when you stop and you won't have any more layers to put on. So when you stop and cool down, you're then going to be even colder because you would have sweated and you've got no warm kit to put on. So start off with minimal kit, so you're sort of warm but cold, but you're going to be comfortable when moving.
Coming
Very
right
important.
out of the door, you should be feeling cold. Probably a better thing to say is starting off miserably cold is more like it most of the time. And what that's referring to is not wearing too many layers when you're going to be moving.
Soldiers rely on EQUIX, the extended cold weather clothing system, to keep them warm and safe in frigid temperatures.
The 7-layer system, I think we started with 3 layers, and 3 layers is really what a layering system should consist of, which is a base layer, insulating layer, and a shell.
Even today with a light movement and not a lot of stuff, my pack is still around 50 pounds, right? At 50 pounds with terrain like this is just, it's really going to add a lot of extra exertion for me. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to wear all these layers underneath to make myself extra hot.
I wish I had a full-length mirror to see what the hell I look like. We're deploying people. I mean, all around Europe, where my brigade's aligned with EUCOM. We could use maybe not mountaineering training, but definitely how to exist in a cold weather mountainous environment.
Fair play, but I want to go back to this guy that was talking. He was talking a lot of sense, but does he just not shave? He looks like he doesn't need to shave, but he has stubble. It's like is he an actual military serving with a hat? Like, I'm just wondering, or is he like a civilian attached? Just be interested to know.
Until I don't hear talking anymore.
We don't typically yell. We just walk in silence, and they figured out pretty quickly that it's their own demons that are going to keep them in, paying attention and in line. The environment is all it takes to harass a student. We do not do that. The hill does it for us.
Yeah, terrain like that gets people pretty quickly. It's very tough. Really hard on the feet. Carrying that amount of kit is hard on the shoulders and the back. So people, when there's no talking, start sort of talking to themselves and putting themselves down and eat it away at it, and they really, really struggle.
I think one of the most important takeaways from this school is learning how to walk uphill. Looking at the history of warfare, most of what it is just putting on a heavy load, grabbing a weapon, and moving uphill, up steep hills. And so one of those tools that we're using today is crampons. It's got spikes on it, and that's gonna give us traction in the snow. So biggest issues, and that I remember I had with the general purpose crampons at first, is like getting the sizing. And then because also they don't know how to walk in it, it blows.
Yeah, I mean, I took two steps up there and they're off again after fixing them.
It's just about that.
So what, you have to walk in them? I've used them for ice climbing and stuff, but I never did a course, proper Arctic warfare. So do they fall off if you don't walk in them correctly?
The students learn to angle and place their feet with a technique called flat footing.
It's really an art. It's really your biggest tool through the terrain that you guys are expected to move in, is just understanding how to use the crampons. That'll get you through most terrain that we expect you guys to be able to facilitate. Pointing
So obviously you've got massive issues with snow and ice. It's going to be extremely slippery, and even with your boots on, it's most probably not going to hold up.
Downhill.
So what I find with the Americans as well compared to the Brits is we do have issued kit, and you need to make sure you take certain kit on a course like this, but the Americans literally do not deviate off that issued kit and equipment, as the Brits love to tailor an equipment, purchase their own equipment, and you'll see people with slightly different trousers, different hats, different jackets, Bergen, slightly different tailored stay sacks, webbing, etc. As with the Americans, you all just look the same. Slightly different here because they're from sort of different units and different areas of the armed forces, but you all have to wear the exact same stuff. That's what I found when working with the Americans anyway and watching this.
On day 4, 2nd Squad rucks a couple of miles to an area called Castle Rock, where they'll practice climbing and rappelling.
The purpose is just to start getting them with a little bit more mileage as they go day by day, and then starting to increase the slight bit of technicality in the movements that they're doing. So they'll go over flat ground one day, and then we try to get like a little bit more rocks, a little bit more incline, a little bit farther day by day.
Yeah, with this course, it's just tiring, isn't it? It's literally like, look at it, it's just going over extremely arduous terrain with your full kit and equipment on that weighs a ton, weighs quite a bit. Very, very tiring on the legs and the shoulders. And this is where these sorts of guys, especially normally in the British Army, the majority of them were pretty fit guys, extremely fit. And you need to be, if you're going to operate in environments like this, this is why soldiers need to be fit. This is why they shouldn't be looking to lower the standards. This is why fitness standards should be maintained high, because you could be operating in possible environments like this, carrying sort of this kit and equipment, and you don't want to be that guy at the back slowing your team down.
But first, they encounter an unexpected obstacle.
So let's get one person up top to assess what's going on the top. Is that a major? Yep. Expendable, right on. 1, 2.
Yep. I got your foot. I got your back.
You got a loop right there. You got hands.
I got a foot. I hate myself. I hate all of you. I like Jake though with the camera.
So that's like one small factor of what we're trying to get into. Small obstacle, wouldn't show up on a map. Did the rope help us? Yes. Absolutely, right? In the summertime, we don't use the rope. This is always echoed to me, is this very simple saying, no one gives a fuck what you did right. And it's the truth. And I don't mean that we're looking like for kudos or anything kind of things like that. We need you to be critical of every movement that you're doing through here and analyzing it and critiquing yourselves and each other as you go through, because we're only gonna get one rep of that in that one time that we've done it. But we should have a learning experience, every little thing that we're doing, about how to try to make it better for the next time.
It's quite an adult sort of course. They don't treat you like children. Do things yourself, learn. That was only a small obstacle. So I think the point was, in obviously the winter, snowy conditions, it could be quite icy, quite hard to get over. So basically send someone up, do a recce, tie a rope round, and then use the rope to basically help the rest of your team get up. In the summer, it's going to be dry, not going to be slippery, you're just going to be able to get up and down.
Slipping and falling is pretty likely, especially in these conditions. What methods do we have to move on a fixed rope?
Students first get comfortable climbing using a hand-over-hand method.
Even just this, it's very repetitive, isn't it? Just up and down hills. It's like a physical training course. Just walking with weight, going up and down hills, practicing your knot tying, your rope climbing. Very, very, very good course so far.
To come back down, the students employ what's known as a hasty rappel by wrapping the rope around their back and using their body to create friction.
Nice.
That's the break position, and that can even be more straight, going right across your body.
So see, using your body weight to break yourself.
Extend that out so more materials are on your chest. Nope, this one. That one stays straight and tight. Lean into it, and then you can sit there and it locks out and you sit there all the way.
This is not getting warm at all.
What are you trying to make here?
Some spaghetti. Trying to put it in the heater that comes with the MREs. They don't work a lot of the time though. This one seems to not be working.
Yeah, the great things about the American MREs is it's got this little bit on the bottom, basically heats the food up for you. I don't know exactly what it is, I've only seen them a couple of times. Within the UK, we have to get the water out, jet cooker out, or hexi blocks, get a fire going, boil the water, put the food in, heat it up for as long as possible, get it nice and warm, or you just go hard routine and eat it cold. As the Americans don't have to do that, because basically each meal comes with this packet that heats it up for you a lot easier and a lot quicker, but he said sometimes it doesn't work.
So cold spaghetti? Probably. Most likely the case.
It's going to be extremely cold in these conditions as well.
What are you eating?
Beef taco filling.
Beef taco filling, nice.
No tortillas or anything?
There's tortillas in here somewhere. I'm lazy. I don't fuck around with it.
They get tortillas and beef taco filling in their MREs. That's brilliant. I've never seen that in British ration packs ever. Anything that good. She's being a bit lazy here. You know, I'm just eating. In these sorts of conditions, I know they're not fully staying out in the environment. Me personally, I would try and get as much in as possible. You need the carbohydrates. One, you're doing a lot of exercise. Two, your body's trying to keep yourself warm. So eat the tacos or the tortillas with that, because it's going to make you feel so much better and it's going to give you a lot more energy.
Get together. So I'll eat at lunchtime. It's fine.
How is that hitting after being out in the cold all morning?
Honestly, it's kind of terrible because it's colder than like the outside is right now. Like cold MREs or whatever, but like icy MREs are a new level of interesting.
As of yesterday, I hadn't had an MRE in 6 years, so this is my second one now in 6 years. Yesterday was my first one.
6 years. No difference to the UK, where the Air Force just get put up in hotels and eat out in meals every day, while the army is stuck on ration packs.
Ham and peanut butter. That's it. Just the way I like it. I want to get a close up of that right there.
Strawberry jam.
It's a bad time to say I'm afraid of heights.
Let's call it there. I'm enjoying this. Absolute brilliant. But it's an extremely long video, so we'll break it down into a few parts. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment below what your thoughts are, and I'll see you soon.